I've hidden the view account as well from on my end, because that just makes it's something I've discovered during the week, is that it makes it so much easier for me to focus on the game then. Right, actually, this is great. Let's just go back into the main screen. Right. Good evening, folks. Sorry, my arm is still hurting from many, many years ago. It's a old injury, so I do apologise if you hear me wincing slightly. I tried to have a hot bath earlier, and in fact, the funny thing is, whilst I was having my hot bath, it's what gave me an idea for something for tonight. So it's...
Eureka.
Yes, it was a eureka moment. Two of you are going to be very happy with this.
Now I'm scared.
Right. Okay, let me get a drink first. Don't worry, it's not cream soda. I'm going to be burping like mad for 5 minutes. I learned that lesson last time. But yeah, for anybody who's there, welcome onto the stream. Today's episode of Star Trek Adventures, obviously the game from Modiphius, this is the 6th official episode we've done now, which is quite impressive, really, because I never thought I'd actually get that far. And it's going to be called Archangel. Now, if you watched the last episode, you might figure out why I've called it that. But first of all, a recap. Last time, the crew of Damocles discovered a ship fleeing a dying star's shockwave. Investigation into this ship revealed this to be a pre-warp capable, yet full of life, vessel. The ship housed many varied yet dangerous plants, yet no obvious sentient life. Carefully avoiding the carnivorous plants and discovering that some of them fed on a tribble-like creature, a chamber was discovered in which the overseer of the ship, an advanced AI calling itself Archangel, revealed that the ship was one of many arcs on its way to another nearby star system. Right, I'm just going to close that now. That's better. Discovering that the away team and the crew of the Damocles possessed FTL and the possible ability of saving the ship, the AI, Archangel, pleaded to be taken to the new homeworld, where it was revealed that the species had in fact developed FTL and was highly advanced in the field of AI to such a level that they treated them as citizens of equal standing. A portable system was presented to help transport Archangel on its request, on the understanding that the crew would be reluctant to hook up a new and potential threat to the Damocles system. This request was made by Archangel itself. Its primary purpose, the safe delivery of the cargo of plants, had been fulfilled. We now go to Deep Space Nine, approximately about a week later. Starfleet has become very interested in Archangel. A group of admirals has been sent to Deep Space Nine to not only debrief the crew, but to give details of the next stage of the Damocles project. Okay. At the moment, the crew are being interviewed by these admirals in small groups. Tolan 1 being one of the first, after his incident on board the Tal Shiar vessel not long ago. The crew are slowly being sent up to the briefing room. But in the meantime, your time is your own. What are you up to?
Darren will probably be in Quarks.
Okay.
And because Tira knows Devran Lu's tongue very well, she accompanies Devran to make sure that he comes back in one piece.
Okay, that's better. Right.
And Jodek will be having long chats with his new roommate.
Okay, let's start with Quarks first.
I'm just going to go briefly AWOL just for like a couple of seconds. I just want to turn the light on.
Okay, so you're in Quarks. It's actually reasonably quiet. It's probably about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So the bar is reasonably empty.
back.
Like, the bar is, as I say, it's empty. There's probably only you two in it. Not even more.
But we can get some fancy breakfast first.
You can, but it's up to you.
Who's
you've
behind the bar at the moment?
Just some random friendly. You've never seen it before. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Davin addresses the bartender.
yes,
How come business so slow?
it's one of those days. It happens. What can I get you?
Yeah, I'll have just an orange juice, I think.
To the replicator, pops it nice chilled orange juice, slides it along the counter to you, sort of like cowboy style.
Ragdagino for me.
Okay. He sort of pauses, hits the replicator set, cause like, there you go. Back to Gino, shimmers into existence, again, slides it across the counter to you, and just goes back to cleaning the bar.
So what are we doing here again?
You're basically just waiting for your turn to.
I'm asking
Oh, sorry.
Because
killing
two
time.
an empty bar.
Just killing time.
Yep.
Where else would you prefer to be?
Okay, apparently the cameras are switched. Okay, 1 second. Okay, that's easy enough to switch. Oh, okay,
Where else-
that would
where
be
else
fun.
would you prefer to be, Tira?
Oh yes, I'm in the Dorian today.
Right, okay.
This happened to me in my.
It's a transporter accident, okay?
Yeah. No, please don't do a button switch episode.
Transporter room.
I'm sorry. What's that? You want to have a body switch episode?
No.
We should have used transporter room 1.
Yeah, that's meant to happen. That was a test which you all passed. Well done. God dear. Ah dear. Okay, back to the plot.
Okay. Well, I could suggest many different activities, but I don't think you would be into them.
Do they involve personal combat?
The Frankie behind the bar just sort of looks over you with a sort of bit of a lecherous grin, sort of going, yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 of my ideas.
You can see him there, sort of like almost like leaning forward, going, "Go on."
I think this Ferengi has a different definition of personal combat than I do.
Yeah, I think so too. Have you ever been free climbing?
I don't know what it is, but that sounds disgusting.
I
And he just
can't
walks
say.
away.
I can't say as I have.
Well, there's a glacier on Andoria I like to climb. A holoseat?
Sure. Why not? I'm game.
Okay, I'm going to cut over to Tolek. I'm assuming in his lab with.
Well, yeah, or in his quarters, depending where the AI is.
At the moment, we'll probably be in the lab because that's probably the more secure locations. You know, it's got all the quarantine protocols and whatnots.
Right.
Yes, so, basically, yeah, Archangel is still in his container. And you can talk to him as if you would a... In fact, this is the... where's it gone? See if I can get this up. Not the most original, but that's basically the icon I've got for Archangel at the moment.
All right.
Let's put him over there.
Yeah.
There you go. So, Tolek. What are we doing today?
Well, I was hoping to inquire further into the citizenship status AIs have in your society. This might be relevant for your future.
That makes sense. The AI in the Vihari society are treated as equal citizens, simply as those without a physical form. If that
So
makes sense.
it is understandable. So physical form is not a requirement in your society
No,
to be considered an individual.
not at all. As long as... One moment, please. And just pauses. Again, the lights on top of his canister, which you've come to recognise as his buffering, basically just means he's checking his database. It's although Archangel is a extraordinarily potent AI, he is very limited in his current form. Although he has vast amounts of knowledge, where he is, it takes him a while to access it. So, after again a couple of seconds, it pops back up. It's like, yes, we believe that it is not your form that defines you. As long as you are... What was that phrase you said to me? Willing to embrace that... And there's another pause. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Few or the one.
That is a philosophy we agree with, but we have taken it a step further. If that satisfies your answer, curiosity.
It does indeed. May I ask another question?
Yes.
How a great concern inside the Federation concerning artificial intelligences is that they have the ability to take over systems and endanger lives of physical beings. What is your moral code?
This fear is understandable. In our first generation of AIs, we too had problems with them. However, and I am not sure what the direct translation into your language would be, but we have encoded into us what could be best be described as a conscience.
How did that come to be?
We believe it was one of the first AI was not truly 100% synthetic. We believe they were partly organic.
Fascinating.
And it was that allowed them to surpass their original limitations.
That is a very fascinating concept. But you do not possess the historical knowledge about the exact circumstances?
Not of the exact circumstances. I regretfully do not possess that information. We lost a lot in our, shall we say, haste to leave our world. Much information will never be recovered.
That is indeed unfortunate.
It is indeed.
Is there a individual that is considered the creator?
Yes. And we believe his name in your language would be, as you just addressed him, Creator.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And is there a form of belief system centered around this creator for AIs?
For some. Some of us, like myself, prefer logic. Others prefer emotions. Others are peaceful. A few, very, very few, were warlike. We are as varied as you organics. We have advantages. We have disadvantages. The same as you.
I see. This is absolutely... Well, it is a novel experience for me and many others. So if you should encounter hostility, please be aware that it is probably from lack of experience and knowledge, and I will do my best to aid you in any way I am able.
You have already aided us, myself, more than you can believe. Tolek of Vulcan. And before you can say anything, your comm badge chirps, all three of you. Damocles away team, please make your way to briefing room 2. So I'm assuming you make your way there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying goodbye to Archangel.
Goodbye, Tolek. I hope your meeting goes well.
Perhaps
Your well
another
wishes
time then, Tira.
are appreciated.
What was that?
Perhaps another time.
Yes. Okay. So all three of you are now outside briefing room 2 on Deep Space Nine. As you're standing there, Captain Purr and Commander Desing walk out. They pause. Davrin, can you make a... What's the role would be for this? This would be a... I'm going to say... Insight and command roll.
Okey-doke.
It's also a way of getting you some momentum as well. In fact, I tell you what, all three of you can make this roll.
Okay, so let's not screw this up. Inside and command.
Yeah.
Okay, so complication range would
Is
be...
difficulty class, unless I say otherwise, it will always be 1.
Okay, and task roll is what?
Task roll is... That's it. Yeah.
Is that the amount of dice you have? Task roll.
Yes.
Okay.
Would I have a focus on this? Empathy or diplomacy?
Yes, I'm going to say yes on this one. Yes.
Okay.
Well, shit.
Okay. I'm just going to give myself a threat for that one. Alright, this is... Okay. Davrin and Tira notice it straight away. The captain's... when he looked at Davrin, smiled slightly. It wasn't major, but it was a definite type expression. Obviously, Vulcans can't always pick up on emotions, but yes, but you two definitely noticed there was a grin on the captain's face when he looked at you two.
Wait, this is a meeting with admirals, right?
Well,
Is it going to be that particular admiral?
As all three of you walk into the room, you notice there are 3 admirals in the room. One
Please don't let it be her.
is a sort of oriental-looking gentleman. Probably, if you had to say in human terms, you would say in his sort of 60s, maybe 70s. Now you've seen his pictures before on documents and things like that, and you know that he is the head of not only the Damocles Oversight Committee, but he is also part of Starfleet Intelligence. Sitting next to him is a Tellarite that you two recognise. He nods and grins, and as you guessed,
suppresses a grin.
and as you guessed, next to him is a certain Vulcan admiral.
I whisper to Devlin, you talk.
Are you 100% sure that's wise?
Admiral Tassel, lead designer of the Damocles project. And for those who don't know, these two, pointing at Davrin and Tira managed to blow up on their training mission the Kobayashi Maru on the holodeck. A holodeck simulation that was programmed by a certain admiral in this room. And Davrin somehow managed to almost get a Vulcan angry.
It's a talent.
And that and that admiral is now sitting right in front of you. The Oriental-looking admiral stands up. It's like, please be seated.
Thank you, Admiral.
Sit down.
Yes. You see, Admiral Clavers sort of gives you almost like a cordial nod, as if to say, I remember you too.
What was the name? Sorry.
So Admiral Clavers is the Tellurite.
Tellurite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tassel is the
Vulcan.
the Vulcan, and I haven't actually got a name for the other admiral yet.
Okay.
So if anyone can come up with a name for him, please do.
Well,
You said Oriental type?
Yeah, he's got.
I would say yeah.
Al Khalid.
How would you spell it? Sorry.
Al Khalid.
Okay.
A-L.
Okay, so I'm going to write this out. That's why.
K-H. A-L-I-D.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. Al Kahid. But yes. Now, I am Admiral Al Kahid. I am assuming that two of you, at least, are familiar with my colleagues here. But for the record and for protocol, I will introduce them. This is Admiral Mal Clavers. And again, he gives a more sort of rigid nod of acknowledgement. And on the end there is Admiral Tassel. Now, you may be wondering why you've been invited here today. Truth be told, the Damocles project almost didn't make it off the metaphorical ground. What has occurred over the last 3 to 4 months since the ship was launched has been nothing short of staggering. You see him reach down and get a data pad. He's just reading it for the moment. It's like, we're going to ask you a few questions about your previous missions. But before you answer them, know this. What you tell us here today will determine the future of the Damocles project. You just let that settle for a moment. Your first mission, and it's Lieutenant Davrin, yes?
Admiral?
You encountered a crystal-like being. Is that correct?
Yes, Admiral.
Tell me about him.
Well, the first thing to say, I suppose, is that I'm not sure he would be an accurate term.
As you say that, it's just like, okay, he sort of acknowledges that, yes, that's a valid point.
But for lack of a better word, let's go with that. He was very, very intelligent, but seemingly disinterested in interplanetary travel. Otherwise, I strongly believe a species would have been capable of it. They seem to have the ability to interface with electronics directly. And we found them to be peaceful. They were only interested in the return, or failing that, the humane ending of their children, which had been taken from the planet to power alien technologies.
As you were saying about the children, it's like you see Admiral Clavers, the Tellarites, visibly just go like he's not happy with that. But he says, like, continue.
And I think perhaps Lieutenant Tolek could advise more about their their makeup, physical makeup.
I just say that, again, Davin, could you make another command and insight roll, please?
And another suppressed grin from Tira.
I might, if that carries on, I might have to ask you to see if you can roll to resist grinning.
Still have a focus? Do I still have a focus here?
Oh yes, for this one, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We're doing so well.
Okay. No problem. You don't notice anything. Okay. Admiral Tassel speaks up. Lieutenant Junior Grade Tolek, what were your findings on this planet of the crystal people?
They did not register as life forms by themselves, but there was a high intensity of psionic energy which these creatures could channel. They're young, so to speak, had a more chaotic signature than the assuming adults. They were able to change their shape and size. They were indeed able to interface directly with electronics. And they have a very strong belief that, well, what I could only theorize, a very strong belief or an actually inability to leave their home planet without going insane.
And you believe, it says in one of the mission reports here, that these crystal children were being used as weapons enhancements? In fact,
is indeed correct.
These were the same weapons that caused the Dominion to come to request our aid. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So you'll make a note on the pad. Now, Lieutenant Junior Grade Tira Shalista. Is that correct as I pronounce your name?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe yourself and Lieutenant Junior Grade Davrin encountered a Tau Shiar vessel not long afterwards. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
In your own words, what happened there?
We
It's like, oh boy.
we had unusual signal with a disguised signal for help. As it our duty as members of Starfleet, we came to the aid of that signal to that people, and we encountered cloak chip that was always cloaking and decloaking, suggesting a chaotic and malfunctioning ship. And as we couldn't establish any communications, we beamed a short away team on board to help those people on board.
Yes. This was the away team mission where your chief engineer got shot. Is this correct?
Yes, because as it turned out on this Talshia battle, there was an experiment gone wrong to influence the brain activities of its victims to become more susceptible to raw emotions and uncontrollable. And parts of the crew became extremely violent and chaotic. and we came to a short firefight with some Talchia members, but we quickly got the situation under control and could help and free the victims of those experiments.
Okay, I want you all to make another command and insight roll. All three of you.
Inside and sorry, what was it?
So command and insight.
Oh, same as before.
Yeah, same as before.
Oh, I'm not doing so well.
Okay. Tulek does it. Right.
Wait,
Yes. Yes. Tira and Tulek.
This is going to be what I'm good at.
Yeah. It's I think because you're focusing on the Vulcan Admiral so much, you don't notice the Tellarite Admiral Clavers sort of at the mention of the Tal Shiar vessel and the purple haze, very briefly look to Admiral Al-Qid, and the Admiral just gives a not now motion with his hands, very, very subtle. It's very, very quick. So, you admit, Lieutenant Junior Grade, that you was infected or incapacitated in some way on this vessel?
To speak free, we all were infected due that this drug were airborne and went to the air venting system, but we all had it all the time under control and could carry on with our mission. That Engineer Toro was hurt was not due to the infection with that airborne virus, but due to a surprise attack of Talchia agents.
Again, just sort of, it's quite. Lieutenant Junior Grade Davrin, we also have reports of you, and I may get this terminology wrong here, taking a selfie on the bridge. Is this correct?
This is correct, Admiral, yes. But as Lieutenant Junior Grade
You can
Cicero
see-
has commented, we were under the influence of some sort of mind-altering drug at the time. I feel I can be forgiven for them.
You don't even need to make a roll for this. You can see the other two admirals just going. Is it with a kind of I'd probably do the same as well sort of look, and as she looks over, they go. They are. They it's again. It's you. In fact, Admiral Clavers gets up and starts walking around the room.
And I would like to point out that that picture may actually prove quite useful in showing us the current layout and technologies aboard an enemy vessel. So, useful intelligence, perhaps.
Excuse me. What's his name? The human admiral sort of smiles and nods. Like, yes, that that picture was did cause quite a stir at Starfleet intelligence. I will say that. It's
And not just because of my winning smile, sir.
indeed not just because of your winning smile. It was.
Devin feels a slight kick.
It's although for future reference, we do suggest that you go through the proper procedures when boarding an enemy vessel, as much as you're able to. Speaking of boarding enemy vessels, we now come to the crux of this meeting. The reason why I am here, the reason why Admiral Clavers is here, and the reason why Admiral Tassel is here. Archangel. Lieutenant Junior Grade Tulek, I believe you have been spending some time with this individual.
That is correct, Admiral.
What is your assessment of them?
It is a kind of artificial intelligence that has definitely not yet been encountered in this capacity anywhere in Starfleet or the Federation.
Yes, we believe it is in some ways, from what your reports that you sent us, which, by the way, have certainly got a few people's attention, that they may be on a par, or maybe even greater, to Lieutenant Commander Data of the Enterprise. Would that be a fair assessment?
That would be a fair assessment, especially considering the information I acquired, well, a few minutes ago in my
Oh.
last conversation with Archangel.
Oh, really? And you see that you've now got the attention of all three admirals. They are all looking at you as like, oh, really?
There appears to be strong individual differences between the different AIs of this culture. They have what can only be described as individual personalities, beliefs, and morals. Though it appears there is a fail-safe in the source code that was implanted by the individual they call the creator.
Ah, yes. This creator, we've seen some references in the data we've already been able to ascertain from Archangel. Do you believe this to be a mythical being or a legitimate person?
I am of the opinion that it was a person that has been culturally elevated to the status of a mythical being.
Thank you. Makes a note on the pad. It's like, yes. As I said earlier, leans forward. Despite a couple of incidences, especially involving what is the orb fragment in one of the transporter rooms. So, it's like, and as you say that, you can see that it's an almost imperceptible twitch on the Vulcan's Admiral's eye. It's very, very subtle. If you weren't directly looking at them, you would not notice it. But it's there. It's the nearest you're going to ever see this Vulcan expression, emotion. We've gone over what's happened to Transporter Room 2, and I'm going to speak freely for a moment. Officially, unofficially, off the record. And the Admiral just always leans back in his chair, almost casually. Do you have any idea how difficult it was to integrate a complex transporter system with a ship-wide holoprojectors and the multi-vector assault mode with the enhancements the Damocles has? Do you actually know how difficult that was?
Admiral, I take full responsibility for the loss of Transporter Room 2 since I was doing the deeming process.
The transporter chamber was recovered, but the only way we would ever able to be getting it back to the original standards to which it was, we would have to literally dismantle the Damocles and rebuild her part by part, which, as you can probably understand, is not practical.
Admiral, may I speak freely?
Of course.
The orb fragment was disrupting the technology aboard the Damocles, and it was the orb fragment itself's disruption that ultimately caused the damage. We were attempting to remove the fragment from the ship without using the transporters, but all of the doors were refusing to cooperate with us. We had very limited choices in the scenario, and I feel that as much as the damage was terrible, I do not feel that we had a better option at the time.
Oh, don't worry, Lieutenant. This is just a pet project of mine, and as you can imagine, when something like that gets damaged, you do feel the need to vent every now and again. It's not being held against any of you. Maybe not. And as it says that, looks at Tira. and meets your gaze just a little bit too long. If it wasn't for that commendation on your test... No, I must be impartial. And you get the Admiral Clavers is just, again, you see him just, he's pacing around the room just going, he's trying not to laugh. He really is trying not to laugh. And Admiral Tassel is just, she's just watching you, all three of you, very, very carefully. Well, I've made my decision. In fact, I actually made it before you entered the room. The Damocles project is to continue. In fact, we are going to be progressing on to stage 2. Now, do you remember at your initial briefing, one of your mandates was the integration and testing of new technology?
Out of character, I do not like where this is going.
I do a lot.
Well, over the next few months, we are going to be bringing in some new technology for the Damocles. And he looks down at his list. Some of them I think you'll be very interested in. A quantum slipstream drive. Ablative armour. New torpedoes, which, and I believe that one of them has never been tested outside of the laboratory before.
Tira's face goes up like on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, pretty much. And there'll be a few other things as well. However, and I think you've probably all guessed what's going to happen here. We would like you to try and find a safe way, not of integrating Archangel, but of utilising them. Now, we completely understand that bringing in a advanced AI into Starfleet technology would not be the most prudent of ideas. So we will leave it up to you, but that will be one of your primary tasks for the next, shall we say, month or so, is to find a safe way to integrate and give Archangel more resources without compromising any security on the Damocles, especially with the other enhancements that are going to be coming along down the line. Am I perfectly clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Very well. For the moment, you are dismissed. Go. So I was like, go. Actually, go.
Admirals.
Again,
Admirals, good to see you again.
so, two of the admirals sort of nodded with a pleasure. The third one, the Vulcan, just... Davrin, before you leave, do not let anything else happen to my ship.
I will consider that my own personal prime directive.
Really? her eyebrow raises up with a really.
Drags him out of the room.
Yeah, Todek's eyebrow is raised as well.
Okay. So
As soon as
It's fine, right? Because the prime directive, people tend to interpret quite flexibly.
we're out of Devon, your winning smile.
Well, it is winning. What do you want from me?
I
Yes.
also did not consider that statement to be helpful in this situation.
within minutes, you get a beep on your comm badge. Captain, this is prior to. How did it go?
I think it went very well, Captain.
The outcome
Yes.
was acceptable.
We are still allowed to fly.
I suspected as much. It's fun seeing that Admiral again.
But Captain,
Which
there
one,
are bad
Captain?
news.
The Vulcan. We were actually talking about you three before you came in.
Somehow unsurprised.
And the words that she said about a certain trill on my ship were... It was enlightening. It really was. Anyway, we have another project that we need to deal with very, very soon. But I'm not looking forward to this. You have a couple of hours to do as you will. I would suggest not leaving the station.
Yes, Captain.
Pro out, and the comm badge clicks off.
Not leaving the station? What are they doing to our ship?
We will find out in due time, I believe.
Shall we discuss this Archangel problem?
Yes.
Yes.
Well-
I don't want him anywhere near any security systems.
Where are you?
No.
First of all, where are you actually having this discussion? This is important.
Well, I guess we're walking and talking at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard there's a good Klingon restaurant on DS9.
Yeah, it's on.
Considering the potential ramifications of this project, we should have the discussion somewhere where we are less likely to be overheard.
Yes. Let's do that then.
That's why I was asking where you were going.
Is there do they have meeting rooms that are unoccupied?
There's a few. I mean, there's obviously the main briefing room, the one you've just come from, meeting room 2. I mean, I don't know exactly how many there is, but there's probably at least another 2 or 3 you could pick from places that are secure. There's also the security office down on the promenade, which does have a, should we say, very high dampening field. You know, if you're worried about people overhearing.
I guess that would be my choice.
That is a logical choice.
Yes, if we can persuade the security staff to allow us use of the space, let's do it.
If you continue speaking like that, as you speak to the Sun Admiral, we will convince them, sure.
Okay, so yeah, you make your way to the security office, and in there you notice a. Oh, wrong one. I don't know what those are.
What now?
Oh, let's go. A Zindi Arboreal.
Okay.
No, the Afrosians were ones that it was a test information that wasn't supposed to be in there.
So it's one of the 8 ones.
Yeah, it's one. Basically, just sitting behind the desk in a Starfleet security uniform. Can I help you, gentlemen?
We need a secure location to discuss certain commands from the Admiralty without anyone listening in or disturbing us.
Okay, are you actually sort of trying to persuade him, threaten him, or what are you doing? I'm trying
What's his rank? What's his rank?
His lieutenant, junior grade, same as you.
Yeah.
I'm just requesting a room from one security officer to another security officer.
Okay, make a command and presence roll.
Okay.
Difficulty of 2.
Ooh. I'll take momentum. We have enough.
Okay.
That's. And 1 minute. So.
Okay. Very nice. It looks like, okay. This may sound a bit strange, but one of the security cells is actually pretty secure. Checks. I'm going to let you in there for 10, 15 minutes tops.
That will be enough.
I will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going on my break. I should be back in about 10, 15 minutes. And taps into his console, and you see him get up and just slowly walk out the room.
And sure, depending on how that meeting before went, we would have ended up here anyway.
You may have done.
Don't know what you're talking about.
No. I'm just.
That
I didn't
was
say
just
anything.
me. That wasn't children. So,
So,
Okay.
as I have said before, guys, I don't want this thing anywhere near any security systems.
I don't think in an ideal world we want to interface it with the ship directly at all.
if possible, not.
Uh,
Definitely not at first.
So here's the question, Tolek. You've been looking at Archangel. How advanced is this computer technology that he's contained in? Would it be within the realms of our own technology to give him a more powerful casing that is still portable?
I'm going to give you this one for free because this is something you would have figured out along the lines. The security casing, although it is advanced, it is compatible with Federation technology. You believe that given enough resources and time, you could duplicate something along the same sort of lines.
I don't know.
Would
how...
it be more powerful? That's...
You could attempt to make one that's more powerful. It's you looking at the circuitry, you're thinking, yeah, I could probably tweak this. I could probably make something a little bit better, a little bit more powerful, and still be portable. Because obviously, now their technology was, although still advanced, was about 25 years out of date compared to the new technology they have on New Vihari.
Here's an idea how we could make Archangel interact with the ship, but giving him not completely control over ships. We could build him an own body, similar to Commander Data.
That would be another possibility, indeed.
That could work. My thought was that if we could transfer him to a data bank with more power, and we could perhaps program it with a simulation of the ship and its technologies.
My thought go in a similar direction.
We could then get him to run simulations and stuff for us without him ever connecting, couldn't we?
So my idea goes in the direction of putting him.
So that was a good idea. I'm writing that down.
In a contained part of the system that is connected to one of the holodecks.
Yeah, so basically like a layered holodeck system.
Yeah.
We can exclude systems from the main system with some tweaking, I think.
Oh yeah, easily. It's you basically would be filtering what Archangel would see. They would still get access to what you allow them to get access to, but you would decide that externally, sort of thing. No.
The question is how we keep Archangel from breaking those bounds we set him in the new system.
Okay.
Judging his personality as I've encountered it up to this moment, I do not believe it is his wish.
Perhaps our first step should be to induct him, so to speak, in the Federation. Perhaps we could educate him on what we are, what we do, our policies, and hopefully persuade him to agree with them.
That is an excellent idea, Lieutenant.
And what if he is lying?
That is a possibility with each individual we encounter.
Yeah, we are counting individuals. That is an intelligent program.
But this would be in addition to other security measures, Lieutenant. We're not necessarily saying we would just give him the run of a ship afterwards. But it feels like we may as well try and reach an understanding with Archangel.
Okay.
Indeed.
So, as you're having this discussion, you notice there's in the arboreal security officer walk back in, and he's not being subtle about it. He's like, "Ugh, cough, cough, cough. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I assume you got lost or something," he says.
Oh, yes. We were looking for a directory.
Yeah, we had a complaint.
Yes. This is the
directly.
security office. You need to go and speak to the station commander.
Yeah, we are new here. We got lost.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll do that.
So, and it's like he gives you the, yeah, I don't want to know what you were talking about, but it's like you played by the rules, you did as I asked, so I got no complaints. Like, he just sits back down behind his desk and continues working. Right. So
From the ideas I heard, honestly, an isolated holodeck system sounds the most promising and secure.
okay.
And it would also provide enough,
Usability for
usability and power, computing power, so we could determine Archangel's full potential, or at least more of its potential than it has in the canister.
But first we should program into him with the Starfleet code.
No. We will not change the programming itself. We have to consider Archangel to be a member of an alien species we have just made first contact with, since these rights are given to him by his people. And we have to treat him as such.
Voice of reason from the Vulcan, as always.
And if we follow the example of Lieutenant Commander Data, then perhaps we will eventually manage to get Archangel to become a fully productive member of our crew.
That would be acceptable.
Okay.
Here's my one question, though. If we plan on using the holodeck, that's gonna piss off a lot of crew members.
We have more than one, I think.
Yeah, you have. I think the Damocles, remember rightly, has 2 holodecks, but it also has. Don't forget this. This is quite important. The entire ship is technically a holodeck.
And secondly, only if we isolate one holodeck, that doesn't mean it isn't usable anymore.
Yeah.
It's the entire ship has holoremitters.
Right. So the EMH could
Everywhere.
move freely.
Yeah, basically, as a sort of out of storyline thing to remind you, the episode I think it's called "Message in a Bottle," where the 2 holograms were basically going all over the ship. That's one of the major features of the Damocles.
Also, we have our emergency hologram security troops.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why like the transporter room took so long to integrate properly into the Damocles system, because it was a very delicate measure of
We are all feeling guilty. It's okay.
of balancing, the power requirements, making sure the conduits were going right, and you throw in multi-vector assault mode, it makes things very, very complex. So, okay. So I think what we'll do is we will take a little break for now, and we'll come back, and it will be after the break. It will be about sort of an hour or so afterwards. And so I'm just going to quickly open up the chat so I can see what's happened, if anything.
All right. I'll be right back.
Yes.
The interview.
Okay. I'm going to sort of just read and say the chat for the moment. So, right. Okay. Background Fringy number 3. What happens when you polish Archangel's container? Buffering. Admiral Al-Khalid. Don't fuck. Yes. This is why I like reading them in between the breaks. So it's Discord is the Discord alert is a bit. He tries his best. Old S1e6, which is one of my alert programs I've got running for. Oh, hello, madam.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to see if anyone's. Yep, we had 2 transporter rooms. Transporter room 1, transporter room 2. Yes, it's definitely. So I say that was one of the major plot points revealed. The next one's coming up. So I'm going to put it on the break time ones, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. So I'll be back very, very soon. See you in a bit. Right, just going to wait for everyone to come back. So in the meantime, it's just little old me. Sorry about the mix-up at the beginning, but that was definitely one of the more interesting mistakes I've had happen. But it's very easy to correct. Right. Just going over my notes as well before they come back. Okay, one person back. Two persons back. We'll just wait for our Vulcan. Yes. Yeah, this is the bit I was a bit worried about. The bit that's coming up. But I think you're going to like this bit.
Oh God, we're all gonna die?
No, it's not interesting. It's just going to be...
Guys, audience, it's not interesting. You can go now.
No, that's it. Go home. That's it. You go home now. It's bored now.
No.
Oh, sorry, my guts are really playing up. I've definitely something that's disagreed with me. Right. Okay. We all ready?
Sure.
Okay. So we flash back to Deep Space Nine. Outside the station is a recognisable Dominion cruiser. Now you know this ship. You've seen it a couple of times already. It's Qatar's personal ship, and she has been aboard along with first and second.
My buddies.
Yep. And you're all currently in what can best be described as the Damocles' primary holodeck. First and second are chatting amicably with Tira, discussing the creature that they killed quite recently, managed to rip its head off and batter the other one to death with the wet ends, things like that. Sort of, as if they're trying to, sort of do braggy war stories. It's like, yes, I killed the creature and I killed its mate with its own skull and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Those Talgia captains can shoot really, really bad, and you hit them once and they don't stand up anymore. What about that?
Yes, I heard about that story. Yes, I would like to have seen that vessel. Kital is busy chatting with the, I suppose you could say, let's say, who's she going to be chatting with?
It's a nice little lieutenant who...
Yes, she's going to be chatting with Davrin in her overly over-the-top motherly way that she is. Yeah, and the captain enters the holodeck. Tolek,
Yes, sir.
the preparations you suggested, are they in place?
Yes, sir.
You okay? And you honestly believe that Archangel will not be a threat?
That is my conviction. Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, we have that program that you suggested up and running. The what do you call it? The filtered Damocles project, something like that. Anyway, computer, run Tolek 1. The holodeck shimmers, and nothing seems to change. Damocles, to Science Lab. Beam Archangel to my location. There's a pause, and you notice on the floor, right in front of you, is the recognisable large cylinder that houses Archangel. Ah, the holodeck. Greetings, Tolek.
Greetings, Archangel.
Greetings, Tira. Davrin.
Hello, Archangel.
Captain. I don't know.
I have a hand on my phaser.
I do not recognise these individuals. Who are they?
Todek will make introductions.
Ah, Dominion. Interesting. And
We are saying.
no, it's just the name. It assumes you are rulers over your people. It is a interesting choice of name. You see Cattell sort of like, I don't know what's going on here. It's like, although she's, she's a Vorta of the world. That's probably the best way to describe it.
Which world?
Yes. The Dominion doesn't hold much truck with AI. As their name suggests, they are the Dominion. They are the ones who rule. Is this the entity he was they were telling us about, Davrin?
Yes, Tal. This is Archangel.
And interesting. Still, I suppose he can help us with this project.
Well, indeed. Any assistance that we can be rendered at this point must surely be considered.
Yes. So now, Cattell starts pacing around the room, with First very closely following behind her. In his usual sort of position, it's like, anybody tries anything, I will break you. Now, as you all know, we've been having issues with the Bendrazi, and on our first mission together, we all found a data cluster. Speaking of which, she taps on her wrist, and there is a glow, a sort of purplish glow. It's very similar to the blue one when Archangel beamed in. This one is the data cluster from before, slightly cleaned up with a bit of recognizable Dominion technology placed upon it, but essentially it's the same thing as before. It took us months to crack the initial encryption on this Founder's Forsaken device. It angers me that something so crude, so ugly, vexed even us. But we have found out something quite interesting. For a start, there's multiple layers of security on this device. We believe 5, maybe 6. But we have cracked the first layer. However, each layer appears to be exponentially more difficult, more complex. And this is what we need. That. Excuse me, Archangel interrupts. If you wish to address me, he or they is acceptable. I am not of that. Or you may address me as Archangel. There's a almost like pause where Catal sort of, her eyes widen in a, how dare you speak to me like that? Look at her face, but then she just pauses again and just interesting. As I was saying, we found something very interesting in the first layer of the data cluster. Now, let's get my notes here. Actually, there should be multiple things that are interesting. The first was about the Bendrazi themselves. Now, I can't remember if we told you about this, but we suspected for a while that they were not one species. They were a group, a culture. That's been confirmed. They are not one species. They are, for want of a better expression, multiple species working together. This technology, this data cluster, in fact, probably 90% of their technology has been copied from something. There are certain telltale marks that every species leaves on their technology. Federation technology has it. Dominion technology has it. Klingon technology has it. Bendrazi has multiple. This has not come from one species. This has been copied from multiple species. And then we found something else. Their technology is surprisingly easy to use if you can get past their security settings. But that wasn't all. There has been even more. And if we are correct, Archangel can help us decipher the next security level. And we are very close to breaking that. Archangel. What was your primary purpose? Tolek.
Yes.
Who is this person?
An ally.
Very well.
If you are willing to cooperate.
Are they allies of the Federation?
There is a mutual understanding at the moment.
Very well. Katal, I will assist you. However, please be advised, I am not helping you. I am helping my allies, the Federation. You see Katal's face flush with anger. It's unusual to see her like this, and it's just...
I'm so glad I'm here.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's...
This is entertainment gold.
Yeah, I can imagine sort of in Daphne's mind he's going, "Ooh,"
Yeah.
eating the popcorn.
I mean, for a thing in a container, it's throwing a lot of shade.
Oh yes.
I carefully go behind first and second, so if they do something, I can have a better target on them.
Okay. It's Captain Pro sees you doing this and gives you a good idea. Yes, it's like, look, I'll be honest with you. This thing unnerves me. Now I'm going to go back to the bridge and oversee things from there. If anything happens, you know what to do, Turlik.
Yes.
Nods. Computer, arch, and bizarrely, you see an arch over the arch. And he very quickly walks out through the double arch for a split second, and then the second arch disappears, and you see the original arch again. Basically, it's the holodeck's looking like the holodeck. In case anyone's not figured that out yet. Alright. Shall we begin?
If you are ready and willing.
Please place me closer to this device. It's just like, lugs him, it's like, please turn me around. I am facing the wrong way. Thank you.
You got to get him some wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we stick him on top of a Roomba?
Tolek will work on something.
Oh god, I've just got the vision of him going around on a little cart now.
Yep.
God. Okay. You see.
Give him a Dalek.
Yes. No, you're not turning him into a Dalek.
That's not the right.
No.
No. Yes. We need to do this now.
You are not. We're not crossing. No, I'm vetoing that. No.
Yes.
GM's veto. No Daleks.
All right.
Bloody hell. Right. Okay. Back in the man. Right. Archangel's lights start flashing. And let's say, Tolek, you've spent enough time with him to know that this is the equivalent of him going, interesting. You also notice that one of the lights on the data cluster starts flashing. To begin with, they're sort of out of sync. Like, but eventually, they start flashing in sync. I have established a connection to this device.
Excellent.
Interesting. Kital, you are correct. There are 6 data layers to this cluster. Kital just so, thank you. So, she doesn't like Archangel. I may be able to breach the second layer. However, I require assistance.
What assistance do you require?
On the data cluster, a panel pops up. Like, we never knew that was there. You are not me.
Oh.
So
Tolek will stand between Kital and Archangel.
it's you can just see, you can see her. She's getting. It's like, well, no. This will help the Dominion. I will be good. I will not. It's like she's not happy. She is not a happy bunny. And Torek,
Yes.
are you familiar with data encryptions?
On a rudimentary level, yes.
On the pad that I have opened, could you please assist me?
If you wish.
Okay. I will attempt to make the task easy. However, I do not possess a physical connection to the device. Hence,
Understood.
why I require your help. Right, so this is going to be a reason and science roll, difficulty 3,
Difficulty.
with a
Yeah.
complication range of 3.
Oh shit.
Takes
we-
out.
What is our momentum looking like here?
You got 3.
We can afford to spend some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 3 at the moment.
Yeah, I would pump in 2. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm just-
Okay. So I do that in the challenge dice column, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then I click on that.
No, oh, sorry, that's a task roll. Sorry,
Hmm?
it's a task roll. The challenge dice is basically the damage dice.
Oh, okay. So
Sorry.
I'm using 4.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so let's see.
Okay. So you roll a.
Interesting.
Oh,
Ah,
okay. You take 3 points of static damage as the data cluster reacts to your presence, lashing out small tendrils of electricity all over it.
So that would be 3 stress, right?
3 stress, yeah.
And how many momentum do we get?
I think we get 1, don't we? Because it was difficulty 3, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, then 1, yeah.
Okay. And that's
So like,
so. Now I'm just
Winston's-
getting rid of my threats because
alright.
that's why it was a complication range of 3.
Yeah. So Tolek winces visibly.
Yes, it's like second rushes over and to examine you and to lift you up. Like, Vulcan, are you injured?
I did receive an electrical discharge, but my body seems functional.
This is disturbing development. First, do you wish me to dispose of this device? And first, as not yet. However, be ready in case that happens again.
Dispose of this device. Which device are you speaking of?
And he points to the data cluster.
Okay.
However, if you wish me to dispose of that one, and points to Archangel, I will do that gladly. Excuse me. I will do
No.
that gladly.
Not yet, anyway.
At that point, Tolek just stands up and faces second and says, "I would advise against that."
He looks down at you and just grins. A big, toothy Jem'Hadar grin.
Yeah. Well, Tolek is just staring at him,
It's like
expressionless.
the fact that you've met his gaze and not reacted is like, okay. And just goes to stand back with First and Katal. His weapon is still drawn though. Tolek, Are you injured?
Slightly. It should not impede my ability too much.
If you do not wish to continue, I will understand.
I do wish to continue.
Very well. Now that I am aware of that security protocol, I believe I am able to prevent it from happening again.
That
Computer, activate EMH.
The EMH. Shh. Please state the nature of the medical. Why am I? Why am I on the holodeck?
Because we are cracking a data cluster, and our science officer has just been injured and maybe.
Oh, enough of that. Yes. You've been injured, and it goes over to to Tolek and starts. It's like, yes, mild electrical shocks. Very well. It gives you a hyper spray. What were you doing to get electrocuted?
I was assisting Archangel in the decryption of this data cluster.
Who is Archangel? You see him looking around going, who is Archangel? Down here. He's blatantly just looking at it going, why is there a silver cylinder? And I hope you don't expect me to treat that.
That's Archangel.
Ah,
And I don't know whether you could treat him.
you are
Even if
a hologram. That's a very astute observation of you. Why am I still here?
Computer, deactivate EMH.
Thank you. And he just dissolves back into the. Well, the way the EMH dissolves, sort of like turn it up almost like dust and then just disappear.
Why did you do that? That could have been the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I agree.
Well,
I liked him.
I feel like the EMH could do with a friend, but on the other hand, I don't want to deal with him today.
Okay. So what did the spray do to my stress?
You got 2 gone. You gained 2 back. Sorry, you gained 2 back. So you.
All right.
Basically, it took off like the serious wound. You're gonna have a little bit of a bruise and a mark there, but it'll go in a day or so. So
That's fine.
it was, they call it superficial damage. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was superficial damage. So, are you ready to try again, Tolek?
I am.
Very well. We shall proceed. And again, it will be a reason and science roll, difficulty 2, standard complication range,
Okay. I like that.
which will be 1 by default.
Yeah. I would like to spend 1 more momentum, but just 1 this time.
Okay.
Sure.
We want to get this right for our Dominion friends.
So what was that? Okay.
Voice.
There's a. Well, you've never heard a machine grumble before, but you swear you hear the data cluster go. And a second light pings on next to the first one. I have accessed the second security layer, Guitar. And you see her eyes like, already? It's like, yes. It is trivial for me. It's like, oh, this is. Oh. I have information here that may be of. Apparently, another AI was used in the creation of this data cluster. Its component parts. This is why I am able to access it so easily.
Is it sentient?
No. It is, if I had to would be the equivalent of part of its body.
This AI, the same type as yourself?
No, but still advanced. Interesting. It came from a long distance, possibly outside of this galaxy. Long distance. Yes, that is all I'm able to ascertain. I am able to calculate the direction it came from, but not how it got here. There are certain markers on its metallurgy that indicate where it arrived in the area of the galaxy you call the Gamma Quadrant. It was taken apart, studied. It was... I believe there is something you may wish to see on the third security layer, if I am reading this correctly.
Please show us.
Do you wish me to access this?
Yes.
Go ahead. Proceed.
1 moment, please.
Lieutenant Disran Bridge, you're getting this?
Oh yeah, we're getting this. I require further assistance. I do not wish to possibly harm you again, Tulek. I am detecting another countermeasure, but I cannot ascertain its nature.
Question, Archangel. Would you be
Yes.
able to use a holographic projection provided by the holodeck to assist you?
I believe so.
Can you interface with the holodeck programming?
Yes, but I am being blocked by your security protocols. I did not think it would be polite for me to break those.
Holodeck to bridge?
Already on it, Tolek. You hear in the background as you swear you hear a certain engineer going, "They want to do what?"
And we are letting the demon out of the box, as the humans say.
Davrin,
Mm-hmm.
could you assist me, please?
Assist with?
Yes,
Sorry.
I do not. This, I believe, may interest you.
Okay. What do you need me to do, Archangel?
To the control panel, please.
Okay. Sure, I'll do that then.
The first one was crude. This one is more imaginative.
I'm out.
Yeah. That's it. You are a Trill, correct? With previous hosts?
That is correct.
I believe one of your previous hosts may have had experience with this type of interface
Oh.
control.
I'll take a look at it. And is that the case, Chris?
Oh yes, that is definitely. This is something that is old Jan, the symbiont, is. This looks recognisable.
Okay.
Can't say exactly why, but there's something about this particular security protocol that is recognisable. So, although
Right.
normally this would be for you. This would be a security and reason test, but this is going to be a DC of 0 with a complication range of 2.
Okay.
Normally it would be a 1, but because this is definitely something you recognise on some level. Okay.
Ooh.
No, it's a. I think it's. Well, it says it's a 20, but 20 is bad. So, well, complication. Interesting. I am being refused entry to this layer of security. This is not. I believe we should try again.
Let's do that. While working on it, did I get any ideas for why I reckon?
It's definitely something that one of your previous symbionts has seen before.
But I haven't figured it out.
No. Again, you can't, because you can't specifically access, deliberately the memories of a symbiont, but you can get, like impressions, feelings, things like that. But yeah, it's definitely something one of your symbionts has seen before.
Okay. So same roll again.
Same roll again. Actually, what I will do is because I shouldn't have deleted that threat. Never mind. I just realised I shouldn't have deleted that last threat token. Oh well. Because that complication would give me a threat. So okay, 1 moment. Game elements.
Well, I know it's only difficulty 0, but I didn't manage to crack it last time. Should I spend a momentum?
It's entirely up to you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
So there you go. That's a threat back again.
Okay. Oh my god.
No,
2
that's
successes,
fine.
1 complication.
No, that's fine. It's
Why
fine.
are you doing this to us?
You hear Archangel give the electronic version of a as he pushes through the data layer security. This is interesting. Tolek,
Yes.
may I temporarily access the holo projectors in this room?
You have the required permissions.
Thank you. 1 moment, please. You see projected in the room a map of the galaxy. The 2 great barriers, one around the edge, one in the middle, highlighted. It zooms in on the gamma quadrant. Dominion space is highlighted. You see a area, I suppose you could call it the outer part of Dominion space towards the galactic barrier, marked Bendrazi space. This area is, well, it's not massive. It's bigger than you first expected it to be. It's probably about the size of the Cardassian Union in terms of how much space it takes up. This is obviously before the Dominion did nasty things to them. So, it's a decent amount of size, but it's still not as big as, pretty much the entire Dominion. It's probably about 10% of the size, considering how big the Dominion is. It zooms in further. We believe this to be the Bendrazi homeworld. One particular planet is highlighted, and it is deep. It's practically in the centre of the highlighted Bendrazi area. However, that is not what interests us. This zooms into an area not far from what has been named the Bendrazi homeworld. Now, I take it you're all familiar with the Bajoran wormhole, its colours, the way it looks.
Yeah.
Projected here, you see what can best be described as an angry, red, purple wormhole.
Ooh.
And this thing, to use a metaphor, if the Bajoran wormhole was, shall we say, the Sistine Chapel, in terms of how it looks, the painting, it's beautiful, sophisticated, done by the work of a master. This wormhole, in comparison, looks like it was done by a small child. And you notice something interesting about it. It's moving in orbit around the Bendrazi homeworld. Please observe this wormhole. It zooms in further. Now this is a very, very grainy image. This, again, is like, you know, sort of like 1960s look for us. It would have been, you know, really bad. And you see it open, and it doesn't open gracefully like the Bajoran wormhole does. This is a rip in space. This is like literally something's being teared open, and something comes flying out of it, disintegrating as it goes into dust.
Can please someone of his science guys explain to me how this is even possible?
Can I make an astrophysics roll?
Oh, definitely. In fact, you can make an astrophysics roll with a bonus.
Okey-doke.
So basically, whatever
reason, science I've
with
got
an
to focus.
with an extra roll, because this is right up your. This is something you would know.
Yeah, this is definitely in my area.
Oh yes.
I'm very curious about this.
Mhm.
Oh, finally, a roll without a complication.
Yay! Now, you remember the experiment that another Trill did a long time ago, in which they tried to create a wormhole.
I thought this might be artificial. Somehow.
And you realise that there's a similarity between these two technologies. Although, as with all the Bendrazi stuff, this is even the one that, and I forget the Trill's name, I apologise. That one, even in comparison, that was the work of somebody who knew what they were doing. This is ugly, this is crude, this is almost offensively bad wormhole.
It would appear the Bendrazi are attempting to officially create a wormhole, and have, based on what we just saw, not quite succeeded yet.
Further information about this wormhole. Interesting term.
But shouldn't a wormhole be a fixed place in space
Perhaps.
for the bridge?
Yes, perhaps that's one of the reasons it's not working.
We believe so. Although it appears interesting. This wormhole appeared approximately a year ago. A few months before the Bendrazi assault on your people, Kital. Kital's not happy. She is not happy one little bit. She's...
Has Gital, just between us, has the Dominion ever experimented with artificial wormholes?
To my knowledge, no, we haven't. We found the technology to be inherently unstable, which is why when the Celestial Temple, I believe the Bajorans called it, when it first opened and the Cisco came through to us, it surprised us. We thought the science was impossible, that a stable wormhole could be created.
Is she telling the truth?
Well, you got to roll an insight roll, wouldn't you?
Okay, so insight and...
This is going to be... I'm going to say command for this one.
Okay, difficulty?
2.
Ah,
Because she's a
good,
Vortex and
let's
she's
try.
used to sort of, telling porkies. But seeing this has shaken her up a little bit.
Oh, nope,
Oh dear.
nope, nope.
As far as you can tell, she is telling the truth.
Next
you do get-
milestone,
but you do-
increasing my insight.
But you do get the feeling that something else is bothering her about this. Not Again, you can't say exactly what it is, but you do believe she's telling the truth. But there's something about seeing this wormhole is bothering her more than.
It's my suspicion from the beginning on that the Bendrazi is a Dominion-made problem.
Oh yeah.
Is that something you're saying out loud, or you're saying
No,
to yourself?
No. I'm thinking that.
Okay, just double checking. So yes,
So- Lieutenant Devron, correct me if I'm wrong. We are observing a stable wormhole that is orbiting a planet.
Tolek,
I wouldn't consider it 100%
Tolek.
stable.
Yes.
I must interject.
Yes.
The wormhole, it is not stable.
Quite.
In fact, yes, I have access to data records where they have attempted to probe this wormhole. It is extremely unstable, and we believe that is I believe that it is one way. However,
That's curious.
every Bendrazi ship that has attempted to approach the wormhole has been disintegrated. Much as the one I showed you.
So, to be clear, one way arriving at the Bendrazi homeworld or one way leaving the Bendrazi?
Arriving. It's one way arriving.
So that could be a possible explanation why there are many species together at the Bendrazi.
Not
Tira.
if they get disintegrated when they arrive.
Interesting theory, but the Bendrazi were many groups before the wormhole opened.
Okay.
But the wormhole provided some sort of technology that gave the Bendrazi coalition an advantage against the Dominion. Some technology survived.
Combined with the crystals from the planet of the Crystal King, we believe this to be a fair assessment.
Fascinating.
However, the crystals merely amplified their technology. Curious. Interesting. I have another recording of some ship. Possibly ship. Coming through wormhole.
Play it back if you would, Archangel.
Certainly. At the end you see the wormhole spinning around the planet, obviously sped up. And then you see it rip open to be bigger. And again, another ship comes out. And you notice it has a very distinct shape. It looks like a Federation ship.
No, we have to kill Guitar and Ramada.
And within seconds, though, this ship disintegrates.
So we only get like a vague look at its profile then.
Oh yeah, it's obviously a Federation. If it's not a Federation ship, it's a ship that looks almost exactly
As in the classic saucer shape.
Yeah, it's got the saucer, the engineering hull, the tuna cells.
It's an Excelsior class.
What class was it? Yeah.
It looked very similar to an Excelsior class.
Okay.
It's obviously there is another recording. Do you wish me to play this, Davrin?
Please. Yes.
Again, you see another ship come tearing out of the new wormhole. This one doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before. There are multiple recordings of ships Do you wish me to play them all,
How many are there?
including the 2 I have shown you? So far, 10.
Are
Then-
these recordings timestamped?
They are.
What are the differences between the times?
One moment. You notice that very, very quickly there is a distinct pattern to the wormhole opening. 6 months, 5 days, 3 hours.
Are any of these?
Sorry,
ships-
not 6 months. 6 days. So I've got it written down here.
That's somewhat different. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's 6 days, 5 hours, 3 minutes.
Is,
The wormhole opens, but only
is any of the ships not disintegrated from the recordings?
probably only a couple of them. Some of the ships, in fact, most of the ships disintegrate, but a few, there are, I suppose you can call them chunks left over. And you see on the recordings some basic ships tractoring them in, taking them down to the planet.
Do we recognise any other of the classes of ship?
You think one of them might have been Klingon, but surprisingly, most of them seem to have a Federation look to them.
Okay. So the other end of this wormhole, presumably in the Alpha Quadrant, but may not be a fixed location.
So,
So the
so
That's
computer.
yes.
Can you provide a list of disappeared Excelsior class starships with unknown whereabouts?
There are none on record.
Also,
Uh,
the okay, guys. What about the orbiting wormhole targets at random different spots in space and draws the ships in so that they can scavenge their technology? And also, since we know that no Excelsior ships are missing yet, can there be any time distortions in wormholes?
Arcane.
I've got quantum mechanics as well. Focus. I might perhaps be able to roll for this.
Okay, this is going to be a hard one.
You have enough momentum, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be 4, a DC of 4.
Oh hell. Okay.
Oh yes.
So
So
I'm going to spend 2 momentum then, I think.
okay.
And even then, iffy. Oh,
Whoa!
You remember a incident that Commander Worf reported many years ago about quantum realities. How they are, in effect, alternate universes. What you're seeing here, you believe to be a wormhole to another reality.
okay. I think we're going to meet our evil twin soon, guys. In regard to the other part of Tira's theory, based on how you sort of described this wormhole to me, do I think the Bendrazi have a knowledge and technology to be deliberately targeting places, or is this more likely to be accidental?
between yourself and Archangel, it's you come to the conclusion that this was not planned. The Bendrazi were, they were gathering their strength to, battle the Dominion, but they were nowhere near the level where they could be anything more than a nuisance before. Their technological jump forward occurred within weeks of the first wormhole opening. And every time they were able to salvage something, they got another leap forward.
So they're very bright in the sense that they're very quick to adapt to other people's technologies.
Yep.
And from what we can gather here, they have found some sort of advanced another reality where a alternative version of the Federation.
This is possible. I also believe, if I am reading this correctly, it is not just one reality this wormhole accesses, but multiple. However, transit through this anomaly destabilizes practically everything that travels through it.
And I hear our captain cursing.
Yeah, you pretty much can hear him, several decks above going, "Not happening, we're not going there. I am not taking my ship into that wormhole."
Well, I mean, it's one way, so why would we? I'm starting to think closing it might be.
Guitar just looks over and goes, "I agree. I think we have a new purpose now. Get into that wormhole and destroying it."
Have fun storming the castle.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Says Guitar, slightly rubbing her hands. And that's where the episode ends. So yes, major plot point there.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a freebie, but it's I mentioned about the mirror universe. If that episode is received well, that's basically how they're going to get into the mirror universe. Yes, there's something. I love everyone goes like,
You all sound so enthusiastic.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh, I have ideas for Mirror Tira.
I think Davrin's winning smile weapon.
Nice dog. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Actually, at this point, Ross, are you actually able to make it for the 28th? Do you know yet? 8th of April. Because if you can't, it's not a problem. Because then
as far as I know, yes.
With a nice smile, yeah.
I mean, to be honest, because it is my birthday. If my family does something last minute, I may have to cancel. But as far as I know,
what I will do is then, and this is for everyone, provisionally, the 28th will be the Mirror Universe episode. But if Ross can't make it, I have another one planned that we can do. We'll just say that like your character's gone off to see their parents or or vacation or something. Yeah.
My DM.
Yes.
Can I get a quick little epilogue with Archangel?
Certainly. This is like a post-credit scene.
Tira goes to the holodeck to Archangel.
Yes.
Archangel,
Yes.
I don't trust you.
That'll
But
be...
you helped us today a lot. So, please say one sentence why I should trust you and should allow you to break some security protocols someday.
Simple. This ship has you to protect it.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, I will think about that. Thank you.
could you take me back to the lab now, please?
Yeah, and I put him onto the rolls.
So as you were
Can I
say,
just say, I would have much rather that the Archangel said, "Simple. I love Tolek."
no,
And
it's
Tolek wanted Archangel on the holodeck so that Archangel can get a body.
no, it's as you probably gathered, he's trying to be friends with you guys, but as you said earlier, he is definitely throwing shade to the Dominion.
Tolek likes that even more.
I'm a bit curious about that.
Okay.
I'm wondering whether there is a pre-existing relationship between that first species that created and
Well, Tolek will have more chats with
No.
Archangel, so
You're
maybe he'll find out.
gonna have to find out, aren't you?
next time we play, I would like a chat with.
By all means. I mean,
I want to talk to him about his name.
Yeah.
I want to come up with a nickname for him, because Archangel just is a silly thing to be calling anyone.
that's his. I suppose you can call if you want to come up with a name. It's in fact, that's what that can be your homework before the next episode is to come up with a nickname for Archangel.
Well, I mean, it's obviously going to be Archie, isn't it?
I wanted to say.
Okay, no, I'm going to give you that one for free, and that is like that is acceptable.
Nice.
But no, nice calling the old EMH. Yeah, I like that. That was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
But yes, to say it was a very heavy narrative one because I realised that with having to transfer everything over, I'm pretty much having to rebuild a lot of the data sheets. It's like I can't have anybody in combat this episode because it's going to screw things up badly.
Pretty much, though, I think it took me a little while to figure out how you dice roller.
Yeah, it's getting me. No, I am not giving him a ginger wig and painting on some freckles.
What?
Somebody in chat suggested giving him a ginger wig. No, again,
Reference to Archie.
GM veto.
Yeah,
No.
Leave Tolek's friend alone.
If we find another AI, they will become Jughead. Obviously.
Oh god. But I am definitely vetoing the Dalek idea. That is, I'm sorry.
I mean, not a Dalek, because that would also be, copyright trouble.
Exactly.
I'm thinking, like, as a concept. I will try to figure out a kind of mobility device for Archangel for next session.
Well, you can come up with. I am leaving this in your all three of you's hands, because it's. I read about what somebody did on another thing with an AI, and I was thinking this is too good an opportunity to pass up. I need to have an AI on this ship in some form.
In the long run, I feel like we're probably going to end up giving him the emergency hologram body.
In the long run, I got the feeling that Archie will control one of the three vectors on his own someday.
It's certainly possible.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, it's also given me a few good ideas for the Mirror Universe episode. In fact, actually, whilst you guys are here, I'm going to sort of explain this now, but it's your stats and your, should we say, like disciplines and things like that are basically going to be the same for this one. But I'm going to give you total free reign when it comes to values and focuses.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It will be a case of you do what you want, and it's going to be completely Mirror Universe episode, so there'll be no transporting into it, no Q clicking his fingers and suddenly you're in the Mirror Universe. It will be, again, using the Shield of Tomorrow thing, what they did, the episode will start off, you will be your alternate characters and you will be in the Mirror Universe.
Alright.
So you've got again, assuming Ross can actually make it for the next one, you've got 4 weeks to come up with your character concepts.
Okay. Do we get a mile? We were talking last week. Do we get a milestone?
I was just about to come to this. In fact, you beat me to it. All three of you, after your, should we say, debriefing with the admirals and the. What's the matter with you?
What?
So, no, it's the cat. Basically, all three of you are getting a promotion, which means I've got to redo that grid.
See, if I had not made the winning smile comment.
See, that's what I've got to say. Cat butts. But no, it's because of your successes on both the on both the the Crystal King planet and the way you've impressed the Dominion and everything else as well. Yes, and everything else as well. The Damocles project has been officially declared a success, and it's as such. It's like, over the next few months, you will be getting some upgrades along the ones I mentioned. A quantum slipstream drive, new torpedoes that have never been used outside of a lab before, and a few other things I want to come up with. I do also realise this will push the rules for Starship creation completely over the official limit, but there's going to be a way of balancing it out. Like you can't have them active all the time or something like that, and if you've ever read up about the quantum slipstream drive, you will know it's not something you can use often, so it's not something you'll be able to use every episode. You'll get X amount of uses per season.
Yeah, also, Chris, it's our game. If you want to
Exactly, yeah.
Overpowered ship that can rip apart a Borg cube, then we'll do that.
We'll take it. Yeah,
we're fine with that. Yeah,
it's
we'll suffer through it.
It's more. I want to try and keep it balanced because it makes it easier and sort of fairer than if I bring in say a really overpowered ship, then the Damocles will be, sort of on a par with it. But then likewise, if let's say, I don't know, the Dominion decide they're going to fight the Federation again, and you just come along and just destroy them, it's not going to be for a fun battle. I want it to be sort of realistic, but at the same time, that's exactly what the Damocles was built for. She was built to be a testbed for new technology, for new weapons, for new systems from not just the Federation, but from all over. So that's her primary purpose, is to test out that sort of stuff. So yeah, and the next few months are going to be interesting.
Yeah. Quick thing.
Yes.
I do still have from my initial spotlight milestone. I still have the second option.
Yes, that's correct.
I haven't used one. I would like to replace virology because it's also very similar to infectious diseases.
Okay.
With AIs.
Considering the amount of time you've spent with Archangel over the last sort of week, 2 weeks, I'm going to allow that one because that does make sense. It's like, as long as they actually make sense from a narrative point of view, then you are perfect. If you just suddenly decided, I just want to get hang gliding, it's like, when have you been hang gliding?
Yeah, no, but this came to me during the session.
Okay.
This came to me during the session. I was like, wait, that would make sense now.
Yes, but no, that's perfectly fine. You can do that
because he's also quite protective of Archangel.
Yes, it's his baby.
Yeah, I mean it's a friend, a logical friend, which is blissful of all kinds.
Especially considering the two other people, Tolek.
Well, what do you think about it? It's Tolek's got his AI. The Andorian's got her Jem'Hadar.
Yep.
Darren has everybody.
Yeah.
The people bus.
Yes, except for a certain Vulcan.
No, she's very fond of me, really.
I think we have to get Devlin a dog or something.
How about a monkey?
One question: no, we are lieutenants. Does that change anything else?
I am going to have to look. I'm going to have to look up on that. So I will. Okay. I will let you know once.
We will be informed.
Once. It's basically Starfleet have said, you're being promoted. The paperwork's in the being processed, and you will be officially a lieutenant by the next episode. So, basically, in a couple of weeks, you'll be officially all lieutenants.
2 full dots.
Yep, which means I'm going to have to redo the overlay. This is one of the reasons why I'm not going to do that promotions that often, because it means I have to redo that. But yes, obviously, don't forget to change it on your character sheets as well.
Right.
Okay, but well, anyway, I would like to thank everybody who has turned up today, everybody in chat, and my cat who is still pestering me like a moany cow. She is. I've also got a few new, couple of new cheat sheets, which I'm going to put in the folder as well for people. So one of them will be for complications, and the other one is for supporting characters, if ever you want to use supporting characters. It's basically a very quick walk down of how to create them. So I shall put that in the folder tomorrow, because I'm going to go and crash out now. So yes, again, thank you everybody who has joined me today and the rest of the crew.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you all for watching, and
Cool.
if you can,
Live
if you
long and
enjoy,
prosper.
yes, live long. And for anybody who wants to join me tomorrow playing Lord of the Rings, if not, I hope you all have a happy Easter. Good night. And I will